Willkommen zurück bei The Zodiac Trial. Letztes Mal haben wir ein wenig neu gestartet und sind dann mit Dog und Bunny nicht mehr in den Raum gegangen, wo das eine Item lag mit dem Praying, die Statue, sondern in den Common Room, wo wir eine Peitsche gefunden haben. Und holla, das ist ebenfalls ein Item. Und mit dem kann man andere Spieler auffordern zu einem Duell. Und wenn man gewinnt, also wenn der gewinnt, der die Peitsche aktiviert hat, kann er den Spielern unter seine Kontrolle bringen. Wenn er verliert, stirbt er. Und Dog hat es gleich versucht und hat erstmal Horse herausgefordert. Und jetzt kommen sie her und das wird riskant. Mal gucken, wie es weitergeht.
Dog was right that it didn't take long for people to come. However, Horse wasn't the first to arrive.
What the fuck is going on here? Dog, what was that announcement about?
It certainly didn't sound like anything good.
What's wrong with just looking for Minor Trinkets? It sounded like a good plan. It was fun, practical, didn't involve weird tablet announcements.
What a welcome reception.
I'd fill you in, but it's a pain to repeat myself 3 times.
Just wait for the others to get here, then I'll talk. You'll talk now. Doubt it. Although by saying that, I guess I proved you right. Quit playing games!
But that's exactly what I'm going to do when Horse gets here.
It's like you're asking to get beat up.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Or did you not hear that announcement?
The fuck? Dog was referring to the clause about not interfering with the game.
It's possible that physically assaulting Dog could impact his ability on the game, and thus you'd be breaking that rule. You think just because I'm executed I won't kick the shit out of you?
Not really, but I hope so.
Dragon just stared Dog down.
Before they could continue, however,
Horse, Monkey, and Sheep walked in. Predictably, Horse looked very much not happy.
Dog.
Horse.
The hell is this about?
Just trying out a new toy I found. Here, read up.
Instead of trying to explain it all,
he just handed the whip over to the group.
The new people gathered around and read the rules.
Wait, Dog, if you lose, you die.
Yep.
And why would you do something like this?
I want to tame Horse.
And why is that?
Why not? Figured it might be useful to control your tablet, check your personality, the like. And it gives us extra time to look around, so what's the harm?
I'm supposed to just trust that by putting my life in your hands you use it for good.
Nope. That's where you can choose the game you're good at, if you like.
Ah, Dog! Ich will dir vertrauen und du bist so... Ja, du verhältst dich so komisch.
Horse, are you actually going to try and win this game? Dog will die if you do.
He knew that when he challenged me.
True.
It's on him if he dies.
Yep. Not really a big deal on one way or another.
How is it not a huge deal?
Pig. You gotta learn how to go with the flow. Ever consider Buddhist meditation? It really helps.
Oh, no, you don't. Don't try to sell me on some hippie shit. I've already written 3 separate articles talking about how much pseudo-philosophy and hypocrisy surrounds that scene.
Oh, such anger. Ever consider Buddhist meditation? It really helps.
You know, Doc, such extremely apathy is not a healthy mindset.
I've been doing fine up until now.
I doubt that. But I also doubt you really are that apathetic.
Oh?
Maybe you genuinely are. I don't know. But in my experience, apathetic people don't do things like this that they don't need to, even on a whim.
Sounds like you had some real boring apathetic clients.
Anyways, enough beating around the bush. Horse,
what are you playing?
A list of games appeared on my tablet when the announcement played. I already looked over it. They were mostly childish. But of the options, I guess I play cribbage.
Was ist cribbage? Was ist das?
Cribbage?
My father taught me how to play it when I was young. It's my favorite card game.
Cribbage, huh? I'm familiar with it. Not a bad choice. There was a deck of cards in the vending machine, so we're all set if we want to play. How are we playing?
Standard rules. Muggins are followed. First to 140.
Sounds great. Let's get Seal at this table.
The two made their way over to a nearby table.
Horace took the liberty of inspecting the deck of cards Doc had.
This might be a bad timing to ask, but maybe it's not the most important thing right now, but what's cribbage?
A card game.
I gathered that, genius.
I meant, how do you play it? Surprising enough, I actually know the rules.
You do?
This might sound far-fetched, but learning the rules actually became quite critical for one of the cases I was prosecuting.
Seriously? That sounds interesting.
You would think. Anyways, the point is I know the basics. Like pretty much every card game, there's a dozen variations, but here are the basics. Every round, each player draws 6 cards. Also, a separate community card is shown face up. They chose 2 cards to put in the crib, and hold 4 to play.
Okay.
Then they take turns placing those cards down, approaching 31. Face cards all count as 10s, aces count as 1. If a player can place another card down without bringing the total above 31, a new stack is formed. All the while, players can score points based on various things. A point if you play a card the opponent just played, bonus points if you get 3 or 4 of a kind in a row. Points if you play cards in a sequence. Points if you play a card which brings the stack total to 15. A point if you're the last person to play a card on the stack. Bonus points if you play a card that makes it directly 31. After hands played out, both players take their 4 card hands back and score them. They can use the 4 cards and their community card to look for things like pairs, sequences, or unique ways to add up to 15. In rare cases, there can be a flush with 4 cards of the same suit. If your opponent overlooks a point, you can call Muggins and take the point for yourself. After that, the crib is scored using the same rules. Every round, who the crib score counts for Every round, who the crib score counts for changes. So the first round, the point it could go to horse. The next, it will go to dog. And like I said, the first person to reach 140 wins.
Wow, that seems pretty complicated.
Most games do when you just explain them. But it's really pretty simple when you stop playing it. Basically, it comes down to 2 things. How do you divide the 6 cards you draw between your hand and the crib? And how do you play that 4 card hand? Experienced players never miss a point opportunity, so Muggins almost never comes into play. It's more about focusing on how to score points, and more importantly, how to deny your opponents from scoring points.
Okay, das klingt sehr verwirrend. Ich habe keinen Plan, wie das Spiel funktioniert. Es klang sehr, sehr seltsam.
Alright, thanks for the explanation, Ox. Now, I can feel like I can follow the game pretty well.
Glaube ich weniger.
While Ox was explaining this to me, Horace and Dog began to play. Horace sat in his chair stiffly, with a determined look on his face. Dog, on the other hand, leaned back in his chair and had a slightly smirk on his face. Still, in these early rounds, Horace took quite a lead. In just 2 rounds, he was up 12 points on Dog.
Guess I didn't have to worry after all.
Yep, it looks pretty bad. But this is to be expected. I'm still getting into the groove of things.
Gambling's all about feeling the flow. Sounds like the mantra of a worthless gambling junkie. And cribbage isn't gambling.
Just then, Tiger und Snake walked in.
Ach ja, die fehlen ja noch. Rooster fehlt auch noch, glaube ich, oder? Ich würde sagen, Rooster fehlt auch noch.
Hey, what's going on here? A game of cards, eh? This is certainly an interesting turn of events. We explained to them the events that happened before they got here.
Oh my!
So Doc's gonna rogue, huh? Figures. Low energy guys like that always end up taking the easy way out.
He's playing for his life at the moment. I would hardly call that things the easy way out. Actually, if used properly, the major trinket could be massively useful. If there was someone trustworthy enough, everyone could agree to lose to them and let the trustworthy pillar find out who has a special personality.
Ha, you really think people will be eager to willing to trust their life to someone else, they are?
There's also no guarantee that a traitor wouldn't pretend to throw the game, and instead winning, killing the trustworthy pillar.
Valid concerns.
Hey, where's Rooster?
Him? He was pretty uninterested in his challenge business. He said if the round was going to be pearls, he'd use the time searching for more trinkets. Hey, that's not a bad idea. I walked over to Horse and Dog. Both of you, hold on.
What is it?
How about you guys take super long turns? Then, when the timer has passed, the rest of us can find all the minor trinkets. As I proposed this idea, a familiar voice spoke from our tablets.
Not so fast. I'm watching these games, and if I even suspect that the players are unintentionally slowing things down, I'll execute both of them.
What? No fair.
Don't try to abuse my items.
Ich liebe, wie er sagt.
Don't try to abuse my items, please. They should fill their intended purpose.
Damn.
Nice idea though, Mouse.
Yeah, well, thanks. And anyway, I should take advantage of this, right?
Ich weiß nicht, was ich machen soll. Ich gehe auch nach Trinkets suchen, glaube ich.
Okay, well, have a good game, you two. As for me, I'm going to spend this time searching for my trinkets.
Good idea, Mouse. Make the most of the time you have.
Do whatever you want. Right now, all that matters is this game.
That's the spirit, Horse. Keep up the good fight.
Bist du jetzt für Hund oder nicht?
With that, I went down to the second floor and started looking through classrooms. It was slower to search for items by myself than it was with a group, but that wouldn't discourage me. This was just free time on the clock to find trinkets. Why weren't more people taking advantage of this? A few minutes later, I heard another announcement on my tablet.
What?
Attention! Dog is currently attempting to tame Tiger. During this challenge, the round's time has been paused. Know that any participant that in any way interferes with the challenge will instantly be executed.
Damn, Dog. Tiger too? I guess that answered who won the cribbage, huh? The Quidditch game.
Quidditch.
Horse had a really good lead there. What happened? Dog must have got a lucky batch of cards. Why was he also challenging Tiger, though? Well, he probably had a good reason. I was determined to make good use of the time he was giving me. I kept searching through classrooms, and another announcement played.
Attention! Dog is currently attempting to tame Dragon.
Normal? Ernsthaft? Dog! Stop! Der baut ein Harem auf hier.
During this challenge, the round's timer has been paused. Now that any participant that in any way interferes with the challenge will instantly be executed.
Dragon too? Damn, Dog was really on a rampage. Surely he had to be worried about risking his life this many times in a row, isn't he? Why was he so desperate to put people under his control? Or perhaps the group had decided to throw games to him. When you look at it in a certain light, the whip is the greatest investigative tool there is. So long as we trust Dog. I'll learn the story later. For now, I need to search for trinkets. I looked around a bit longer for any hidden trinkets. However, as I was going through a classroom, a familiar face walked in. Horse! What are you doing here? And what's on your face? Instead of answering me, he just approached me. He had a grim look on his face. What are you... Before I could even finish my question, he grabbed my throat with one hand. I tried to get him off me, but he was so many times stronger than me. I was utterly powerless. I kicked and I scratched and clawed, but eventually my oxygen ran out and I passed out. I wasn't choked to death then. However, I would be killed before I woke up. I died without having the slightest clue what had gone on. But I did that peacefully in my sleep, and I guess that's worth something.
Queen of Clubs.
The Zodiac race is a war of information. While resource gathering is important, isolating yourself from the group means you have no influence on events. In this case, while Mao's idea wasn't bad, she chose to pursue it over monitoring a potential dangerous situation. And the situation grew deathly dangerous.
Nein, ich wusste, dass ich da bleiben sollen. Ah.
While looking for trinkets made sense, I felt uneasy about leaving the situation.
Die Sache ist, ich wollte erst so, ja, vielleicht bleib ich doch hier. Ich wollte jetzt sagen, vielleicht bleib ich doch hier. Und dann so, nee, das wird schon gut gehen. Im Kopf war ich schon so, nein, das wird nicht gut gehen. Das wird nicht gut gehen. Und spätestens dann so, ja, jetzt macht der Tiger. Und dann Dragon war ich so, Oh. Ich verstehe. Er hat sich die stärksten rausgesucht. Tiger, Dragon und Horse sind die stärksten, die wir im Team haben. Das heißt, wenn die weg sind, haben wir ein Problem, weil dann können wir nicht mehr gewinnen gegen die.
Right now, Doc was casually using a major trinket, which will lead to his death. Something wasn't right here. I had a feeling that a whip would be central to this whole race. Ignoring it to find minor trinkets seemed like a short-sighted plan in the long run. So instead, I took a few steps back and watched the game progress. Ox's explanation helped me follow the general gist of how things were going. Slowly but surely, Doc regained ground in this struggle. It wasn't any major round, but as the game played out, he started to take the lead. A good few steps away from the action, Ox spoke to me in a hushed tone.
Fascinating.
What? The game? It's interesting enough to watch, I suppose.
No, not that. It's something I've noticed about how the game's been played. If you noticed, every single round, Doc puts his cards in the crib after Horse does. I mean consistently. And this is despite the fact that usually Doc is making his play faster than Horse.
Okay, and?
It just has me thinking why he's doing that.
You have a theory?
The longer the game's gone on, the more Doc has been winning. I didn't think it possible, but he might be slowly marking his deck.
What?
It will explain why he's waiting for Horse to decide which cards are going into the crypt to make his own move. Typically, card marking is a process that happens on the deck beforehand. Subtle tintwork or juice dust can tell cheaters exactly which cards are where, and it's practically perceivable. But I think Doc might be doing his own practical card marking by subtly scratching and bending the cards in specific places.
But isn't it crazy difficult to remember all those handmade tales?
Hard, sure, but far from impossible.
Hold on a minute. That would be cheating, right? Shouldn't he be executed right now?
Remember, the rules specified that you'd be executed if you were caught cheating. He hasn't been caught.
So, shall we say something to Horse?
I'm not sure we can.
Huh?
The rules also forbid any non-players from interfering with the game. It's possible something like this could be considered an exception. But it's also possible that the only people who can call out cheating are the players themselves. For now, let's just watch things play out.
Okay. I felt uneasy letting Doc cheat like that, but I didn't really have a rebuttal to what Ox said. I guess I just have to let this happen. The game continued, and Doc continued to gather more and more of a lead.
Now, that's that's peculiar.
What's peculiar?
Doc has drawn far more 5s than Horses has.
And that matters because?
In cribbage, 10s are by far the most common digit, since all face cards count as 10. And you can get easy points by making a 15. So 5s are often super useful cards to put in your hand or your crib. They take in turns shuffling the deck. I wonder if Doc's some are forcing certain cards during the shuffles. If that's the case, he's gotta be an experienced card shark.
Jeez, no wonder Horse losing. This is brutal.
Oh mein Gott, Hund! Du betrügst voll!
Nothing changed in the game's final moments. After an uneventful round where neither side did much better than the other, Doc passed the 140-point line.
Huh. Looks like I got lucky.
Shit. I'm sorry, Dad. I let you down.
No, it's not that dramatic. Sometimes the cards fall in unexpected ways. Still, that was some pretty impressive play, Doc. I have to ask, are you a card shark of some sort? A card shark? That's definitely not a statement. But I do play cards with Chief Police Bowen and his friends every now and then, so maybe I picked up something from that.
So what happens now? Doc can control Horse?
I should be able to, yep. In fact, I want to check out how things work right now.
As he said this, Doc walked into a nearby empty classroom and shut the door.
Who does he think he is? Just scrolling around and doing whatever the hell he wants.
It is indeed a cause for concern. Let us hope his intentions are noble. Just as Monkey said that, all the tablets had an announcement.
Attention, Doc is currently attempting to tame Tiger.
During this schon wieder!
During this challenge, the round's timer has been paused. Know that any participant that in any way interfere with the challenge will instantly be executed.
What? He's challenging another person?
What's this? There's a list of games on my tablet.
This is starting to become a bit of a concern.
Doc's at the room and clearly trying to hide a grin. He clearly seemed to be enjoying our frustration quite a bit.
Doc. What's up?
What are you doing?
Trying to tame everyone, that's what. By the way, Horace is clear of being a traitor. He's just determined.
Did you choose me because you suspect me?
Partly, yeah.
How can you suspect me? I've been for the team this whole time.
That's why I suspect you. I just don't buy that someone could be that positive. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Point proven. Anyway, choose a game to play.
Right.
Well, definitely not a card game. You can't do that. Let's see here. Tiger looked over the list. Darts are kind of like small javelins, aren't they?
Not really.
That seemed fun.
I want to go with darts.
Okay. Let's get things set up. Doc went over and picked up some of the darts. He then started to set up the dartboard.
What do you think Doc's plan is?
I really can't tell.
It's hard to read him. For now, let's just see how things play out. Is that the right move?
Maybe.
Doc was finished setting up.
So, how are we playing this?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know the rules of darts.
You what?
Doc started laughing uncontrollably to himself, but Tiger shrugged. Never got around to learning.
Then why did you choose to play it?
Seemed fun. It is fun.
Tiger, your life could be on the line.
Pig.
I always play like my life's on the line.
But this time, in a very literal sense, it's true.
Hell yeah, it is.
Don't worry, Tiger. I'm sure you'll be great at this.
What a train wreck. How amusing.
Since you're a novice, we'll make it short and simple game. Basically, we'll each throw 3 dots each. Each dot will score points equal to the section it's in. Landing it in this outer ring will double whatever that section's worth, and landing in the middle ring will triple what it's worth. Landing in the center circle is worth 25 points, and the center circle is 50 points. Simple as that.
Alright, I think I got the gist of it. Could I have a couple of practice throws before we start?
I don't see why not.
Cool. Then Tiger began to throw some practice darts. Despite them seemingly not being like tiny javelins, Tiger picked up on throwing them surprisingly quick. Throwing them like one might pitch a baseball was certainly a questionable method, but it seemed to work out for her. I began to think Tiger might have actually shot at this. Which... was that good? Bad? It seemed bad. I didn't want Doc to die.
Ja, es ist sogar bei mir ist es bis auf der Waage gerade. Doc ist bisher bei jedem Ending ziemlich shady gewesen. Von daher, ich weiß ja nicht. Ich hätte nicht immer das Größte dagegen, muss ich sagen. Aber naja. Ob der Hund stirbt oder nicht, das sehen wir im nächsten Part aber erst. Ui! Oh mein Gott, nehmt dem Hund doch mal die Peitsche weg. Ganz ernsthaft. Was ist denn das? Ah, naja, egal. Dann werden wir im nächsten Part sehen, ob der Hund vor die Hunde geht oder er das Miezekätzchen zähmt. Was ganz schlecht wäre für uns. Aber okay, mal gucken. Ich danke fürs Zugucken und bis nächsten Mal. Tschüss.